Hey everyone, and welcome to my review of The Widow by Fiona Barton. I haven't done one of these review videos in a good while. I would say it's been maybe 3 years, so you're going to have to bear with me while I ramble my way through it. The Widow is a very dark and suspenseful adult thriller. It's about a woman called Jean whose husband has recently died, and prior to his death, he was accused of abducting and killing a young girl. Like I said, her husband is now dead, so we don't have to worry about him anymore, but Jean is having to deal with the press because they want their story. Before I begin, I do have to put out there that this book deals with a lot of dark topics. It's definitely not for the faint-hearted, and if you are easily triggered, or even if it's quite difficult to trigger you, I would say go into this cautiously because it deals with some really dark stuff. The book includes topics such as child pornography, sexual assault, abduction, and paedophilia, so I would definitely recommend giving this some thought before reading this. All of that said, I did really enjoy how bleak it was. Don't get me wrong, it was quite difficult for me to read at times because, like I said, it was so dark and these are not easy topics to read about, but I feel like the author did it in a very respectful and also engaging way. I have to say that I didn't really care for any of the characters in this book, although that didn't really matter to me too much because it was more about the story and the suspense and the thriller aspect rather than a character study. To be honest, the characters aren't very compelling, and if you're looking for a thriller where you care about the characters and you want to get inside their heads, I really wouldn't recommend this one because that's not what this is. The story is told in a mixture of flashbacks and present day. So we start with Jean and how she is contacted by the press in the present day to share her story and share more information about her dead husband. And then throughout the book there are flashbacks to what led up to the court case and the abduction, and we learn about the toddler who went missing and a lot more about the husband. I would say it actually focuses more on the husband than the widow, although we do get a lot from Jean's point of view. I think to make it more interesting, we could have seen more of Jean's feelings towards her husband and towards the court case and what was happening there, because a lot of the time I feel like that was kind of brushed over and we didn't really understand what was going through her head at the time. In terms of how good of a twist it was, I would say don't hold your breath. I was waiting for ages for a twist that just didn't happen. I honestly thought that something mind-blowing was going to happen because I had heard such good things about this book and I know that it's been highly successful. There was no twist for me. It just all was very linear and not very shocking. It was just exactly what it said it was going to be. I was hoping that there would be more substance to it, but unfortunately there wasn't. To be honest, The Widow didn't exactly blow me away, but it was super readable and engaging. I flew through this. I read it in less than a day, I think probably in about 2 sittings over the course of 6 hours because I just couldn't put it down. I think Fiona Barton has a very engaging writing style and I'll definitely be reading her second book, which is called The Child, when I get the chance. Overall, I gave The Widow 3 stars and I enjoyed it well enough to read her other book. It's not one of my favourite thrillers by any means, but it was definitely readable and enjoyable and very, very dark. Thank you everyone for watching my review, and I will be back soon with another video.